The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So a judge in Oklahoma actually ruled that Johnson & Johnson, you know, the beloved drug company that they actually are known for a lot of products like bandages, you know, drugs, first aid kits, shit like that, baby powders and lotions, all that, right? They actually ruled that they have helped fuel the opioid crisis in their state and ordered that they pay $572 million. Now, over $500 million, but it's far short of the $17 billion that they were initially suing for, saying that's how much damage that they caused in the state. But this is seen as the biggest win against a drug company since there's been this crackdown on the opioid crisis. Since, you know, a lot of white people started dying from it. A lot of black people too, even in my hood, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Vazi, you feel me? But check this out though. There's like 2,000 cases pending around the country against like opioid supplying companies, and then there's also a massive federal case coming in October where there's like 2,000 cities, counties, and Native American tribes. We'll see what happens. Green War and The New World Order, Bishop Grady in uniform. You see me letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Now, I told y'all this weekend about how they had the G7 summit. 7 of the most powerful, arguably the most powerful countries in the world. Their leaders meeting together, discussing some policies, seeing what they come up with together. One of the things that they did come away with was deciding to pledge $20 million, turns out it was $22 million, towards Brazil for them dealing with the Amazon rainforest burning down at an unprecedented rate. Thousands of fires taking place, last I heard. Now, Brazil is actually rejecting that pledge. They're saying that you know, accusing the Jair Bolsonaro, the Brazilian president, is accusing the G7 summit of treating Brazil like it's a colony or no man's land, and basically saying that, Bolsonaro's chief of staff saying that they should use it for European reforestation. Bolsonaro says, especially like President of France, Emmanuel Macron, has no business trying to sun Brazil over this shit, because, you know, they couldn't even handle that fire at the Notre Dame Cathedral. And a lot of people are criticizing the G7 of that for not raising nearly enough, since there was $1 billion raised for the cathedral. So a lot of little dick measuring going on. You get what I'm saying? Green War and Grady. The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So in Brazil, actually, in the state of Pará, federal prosecutors are actually launching an investigation because they said that they warned the Brazilian Environment Ministry of the agriculturalists in the Amazon planning a fire day, but the government did nothing to stop it. So this is coming as they even said that one farmer hit the news media and said that they were sending a message to far-right president of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, basically saying that if you know, they wanted them to do the work, they would have to essentially burn down the trees to clear some land. So this is happening, but you have some environment officials are saying that they tried to get help from the central government to deal with it, but they didn't receive any help. All of this is happening in the midst of everybody blaming far-right President Jair Bolsonaro, who since he's actually held the seat in January, has been promoting deforestation for you know, mining and agribusiness and all of that. Green War and Graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So shit is cooking up over there in the Middle East, man. Where the fuck is you at, Jared Kushner? Now, I told y'all this weekend about how there was these airstrikes that took place in like Lebanon and in Iraq, for example, or whatever, and these were blamed on Israel. So in Lebanon, there were 2 drones that actually crashed in Beirut, killing two fighters. And Hezbollah actually had a funeral service for them. Now, Hezbollah is like labeled a terrorist organization by the United States, by European Union, by Israel. This is like the Islamist political party out there in Lebanon, and also they have like their, you know, military jihad faction and all of that or whatever. So they get busy, you know what I'm saying? It's a gun on their flag, you dig? Now check this out though. The Prime Minister of Lebanon is actually saying that his name is Saad Hariri. He's actually saying that this is a violation of their sovereignty, and the president of Lebanon is actually saying that this declaration of war. That's Michel Aoun. So, you know, shit get intense, man. Green War and Graduation. We'll go to Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report, man. Yo, in the Middle East, like I told y'all, shit cooking up over there. Jared Kushner, man, what the fuck is you doing? This your peace plan? My G. Now, yo, so check this out, man. So I told y'all about how there was like these strikes that went on across the Middle East this weekend that were actually blamed on Israel. Now, in Iraq, they're actually saying that Israel had launched an attack that went against an Iranian base in Iraq. And they're saying that the United States actually bears responsibility for that attack, and therefore the Shia Iraqi militants are actually ordering the United States to withdraw troops from Iraq. So that's a whole situation by itself. Israel saying they're only claiming responsibility for the attack that that happened in Syria, where they struck an Iranian base there, basically saying that they were planning a drone strike. So that's why it was preemptive, basically. Green War and Graduation, though. This report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So over there in Sudan, actually, there's been a lot of torrential rain and downpour and flash flooding that is expected to take place all the way through October, or up until October. Now, the United Nations is calling this a humanitarian crisis. It's getting crazy because 60 people have been killed, tens of thousands have been displaced, and thousands of people, thousands of homes, pardon me, have actually been destroyed. So, and you know, who knows how worse this is gonna get. And it's a shame because Sudan has just been actually come to getting things straightened out between the civilians and the military, and them getting Omar al-Bashir out of the presidency, you know what I mean, from his authoritarian rule. So things seem like they were on the up and up, but shit, man, you know what I mean, keep those people in your prayers, yo. That's Africa, man. Green War and Graduation, though. Support of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report, man. Collusion against the national security, propaganda against the state, and disturbing public order. These are the things that Marzia Amiri, journalist, activist, you know, free her, man. This is something that she's has been charged with and sentenced for in Iran, to 10.5 years in prison and 148 lashes. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how they get down over there. Now, it's unfortunate because you have the Committee to Protect Journalists actually saying that, you know, this is like kind of outrageous. Like, I mean, you know, this is part of Iran's attempt to like silence journalists who were reporting on the bad economic conditions out there, whatever. And you know, they're just trying to threaten journalists, and that she should be released immediately. She didn't do anything criminal, so you know what I'm saying? Free Miss Amelie. Green War and Graduate. Streets report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So 19 different states and Washington D.C. actually sued Donald Trump and the Trump administration yesterday for their decision to actually roll back the provisions laid out in the 1997 Flores Agreement, which basically says that if you are a child migrant or migrant family, they can't be in these detention centers for more than 20 days. And you know, the Trump administration has been suggesting that they want to actually allow these people to be suspended, detained indefinitely as a measure to keep, as a deterrent to keep people from viewing these children as like a golden ticket to be used in order to get into the country. So you know, more wickedness, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no other way to describe that. So we'll see what happens with this lawsuit, though. Green War and Graduate. Streets report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So accused sexual predator and, you know, movie mogul Harvey Weinstein, the judge for his case in New York City is actually allowing for 3 more accusers to actually come on board and testify as, like, you know, bad prior acts, testimonies or whatever. And this included in this is actually a Sopranos actress, Annabella Sciorra. But Harvey Weinstein has also had pled not guilty to 2 other sex assault accusations, and you know, we'll see what happens with that. His trial's actually been pushed back to January, so you know. Green War and Graduation, just letting y'all know. Streets report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So the National Hurricane Watch actually issued a warning for Tropical Storm Dorian that's actually been approaching Puerto Rico and picking up strength. So the warning actually went out to Puerto Rico. In the Dominican Republic, they actually also issued out warnings for this hurricane on certain parts of the island. But in PR, it's actually, they're talking about some 30,000 homes that still don't have solid roofing due to 2017's Hurricane Maria that still, you know what I mean, tore through the island and left it devastated, whatever. And they still have a very vulnerable electrical power grid. So, you know, we'll see what happens, man. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, yo, keep those people in your thoughts and prayers, man, because they already been going through a lot. Green War and Graduate. Streets report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So apparently the United States and France have actually reached an agreement on how they're going to attack big tech companies like Google, Apple, Facebook, and Amazon. President of France, Emmanuel Macron, actually said that they are going to, under this deal, France is actually going to pay the difference between its own digital tax and the tax that's levied by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. So apparently this is in them paying the difference, France actually said that they are going to get rid of that 3% tax once there's an international agreement reached on an international digital tax agreement that's reached. So, we'll see what happens. So, Greenborn graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report. So, last night in Newark, New Jersey, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Jersey City, New Jersey. We right next door. So, it was a big that they had the Video Music Awards for MTV at the Prudential Center last night. But outside of the, everybody focused on, the performances and all that. And I saw well and good, I saw Lizzo do a thing, you feel me? Like, people made a name for themselves, or boasted, did what they were supposed to do. But outside, there were a lot of arrests made as there was a bunch of protesting going on. We want our water clean. We don't want no MTV. Like, this shit was getting real because as people know, there's a big lead contamination problem in Newark. Newark actually has the highest levels of lead contamination in the country, some of the highest levels. Now, earlier, Newark officials had actually announced a plan to completely replace Newark's pipe system within 24 to 30 months. Essex County is apparently taking out a loan to do this project that they're going to have to pay back $6.2 million per year for the next 30 years for. So we'll see what happens. Greenborn grad. Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report. So over in Indonesia, they're actually planning on moving the capital of Indonesia from Jakarta to actually Borneo. Now, Jakarta is actually home to like 30 million people, right? But studies have shown that Jakarta in the next 10 years a quarter of Jakarta is going to end up underwater. Not to mention that the surface water is seen as being so polluted that it's unusable due to, it's been blamed on excessive groundwater extraction as well as like just poor environmental policies. So the president of Indonesia, Joko Widodo, he's basically saying, he's touting the move, basically saying like, it's good because they're moving to a place that's like more environmentally friendly. Where they're not less likely to be hit by environmental disasters. It's going to the middle of the country and it's closer to other developed countries. But the move itself is expected to be cost $33 billion, and it's not. No one's certain about what's going to happen to the people that are still in Jakarta. We'll see what happens. Greenborn graduate.